When S Club, formerly S Club 7, announced they were breaking up in April of 2003, all eyes were on lead singer Joe O'Meara to become the breakout solo star. Few thought that the slightly timid Rachel Stevens would in fact eclipse O'Meara with a handful of top 10 UK singles and 2 successful albums, one of which would become a critically acclaimed and often lauded album still to this day. For her sophomore record, Rachel would team up with the likes of Richard X and Xenomania to help craft a unique, futuristic electronic pop dance record. So, with this album loved and adored by fans as well as many music critics, let's take a deep dive into the superb Come and Get It.
We've got something very, very important that we'd like to speak to you all about this evening. Okay, we've all been together for 4 years and we've had the most amazing time. So tonight we've got some good news and a little bit of bad news.
The bit of bad news is something that has been in the papers a lot recently, but we felt it was very important that we told you here tonight from us. Tonight we're here to announce, it's a little bit sad, but we will be splitting.
On the 21st of April 2003, during their S Club United tour, S Club announced that they were to disband. The announcement came just 10 days after the release of their first movie, Seeing Double. A final single, Say Goodbye, and a greatest hits album would follow in June 2003, before S Club officially parted ways. The band cited a mutual split, expressing it was simply time to move on and face new challenges. The members of S Club have since commented on how exhausting being in the band was, due to hectic schedules and long filming days.
A movie, 3 tours, 5 TV series. Do you know what I mean? We'd really fulfilled everything we thought. We went as far as we thought we could go. We wanted to tell the fans first before they found out any other way. But that was just really nerve-wracking. And I remember the gasp from all the kids in the audience. And for me, I knew I wanted to carry on with the music and be a solo artist. So I started planning what I wanted to do straight away. And then when S Club was finished, I took 2 weeks off and then got straight back into the studio and recorded LAX and the album. And I remember that week of release, I was up against the Black Eyed Peas, Where Is the Love, which was the biggest selling single of the year. So exciting. And then when it went at number 2, it was just so brilliant. It's just a case for me to grow as an artist and learn more and, you know, keep on doing it and keep growing and making good music.
In September 2003, nearly 3 months after S Club's greatest hits album, Rachel Stevens rushed to release her debut solo record. Funky Dory would have moderate chart success, initially peaking at number 9 in the UK and later at number 13 when reissued with new material and remixed tracks. Her breakthrough hit came at the hands of legendary singer-songwriter Cathy Dennis in the wonderfully titled Sweet Dreams My LAX. The track was produced by the Bloodshy and Avant Swedish production duo and became a huge success for Rachel, reaching number 2 in the UK, Scotland and Denmark, and number 3 in Ireland. The lyrics of the song, written by Cathy Dennis, were inspired by Justin Timberlake's Cry Me a River, which is believed to be aimed at Britney Spears, his ex-girlfriend. Originally, the song was offered to Britney, who turned it down due to its subject matter. A few months later, Cathy Dennis offered it to Rachel, whom she had previously worked with on S Club 7 material, such as 2 in a Million and Reach. At the time, Rachel had just begun work on her debut solo album and thought the song would make a good first single.
Is it all it seems? Is it all you dreamed and more?
The next single from Rachel would be much less successful, with the title track only reaching number 26. However, it was released in December, which seemed like an odd decision by the label, considering the track would get lost amongst the abundance of pre-Christmas tunes.
You're a work of art. Wanna hang you on the wall. You're a funky Dory, baby. Baby, that's all.
12th of July 2004 saw the release of Some Girls, written by producer Richard X and songwriter Hannah Robinson. They spent several days working on the song, with the girl group Girls Aloud in mind as potential performers. Rachel's manager at the time, Simon Fuller, contacted Richard X to ask that he give the song to Rachel. He agreed to have her record the song after Richard Curtis asked about using it to promote Sport Relief 2004. For the longest time, I had heard the well-known rumour that when ex-Spice Girl Geri Halliwell found out that the writers were having Rachel record the song, she locked herself in her car in an attempt to change their minds. The aftermath of the decision for Rachel to record the song then became the subject of another song written by Richard X and Hannah Robinson, Me Plus One, from Annie's 2004 album, Animal. When I recently asked Hannah Robinson about the specific event, she clarified that it was mostly fictitious. She confirmed that when working with Geri at a session they had with Ian Masterson, Geri had said that she wanted to record Some Girls that day and had an idea for a different middle eight. Hannah was perplexed as the song was already being recorded by Rachel. Hannah explained the situation and understandably Geri was disappointed. Hannah did later receive a call from Geri's then manager saying she'd never work in this town again for not allowing Geri to record Some Girls. The well-known car story was an entirely separate situation, that when during a studio session in LA, Geri had arrived a little later than Hannah and Ian Masterson and looked to be quite tired. She said she was popping out for a little while, and Hannah and Ian saw her on the CCTV in the studio get into her car, but the car never left. After maybe 6 hours, she returned, having slept. Some Girls was another number 2 hit in the UK for Rachel, and even peaked at number 1 in Scotland. It would set the template for what was to become her second album. However, before this, Rachel would release one more single off of her Funky Dory re-release, a cover of the Andrea True Connection 1976 hit More More More. The track had also previously been covered by Bananarama in 1993. Rachel's version would peak at number 3 in the UK after the song was featured in an advertising campaign for Sky Sports football coverage and also in adverts for sofa retailer SCS.
More Premiership football.
But one of the most important things to me is the music.
After the success of Rachel's debut, work began in late 2004 on new material. The critical appreciation towards Some Girls was the impetus for the new album. Richard X would come on board once again to co-write and produce the track Crazy Boys, and Girls Aloud hitmakers Xenomania provided 2 songs in the form of fan favourite Nothing Good About This Goodbye and the track Funny How. Karen Poole and Johnny Douglas wrote the song Secret Garden, which is rumoured to have been written for Kylie Minogue for her Body Language album.
I get this feeling that you're taking it down, 'cause it's you, oh you, come and get it.
I see. Forgetting the words was a high point, I think. Don't you? I think that just shows my professionalism. Yeah. Get out of practice, you know.
Feel so good and so good and so good.
Hannah Robinson would co-write a handful of tracks, including So Good, Crazy Boys, I Will Be There, and Some Girls for the main album, as well as co-writing with Rachel herself on songs Never Go Back and Waiting Game, which became B-sides.
I feel like I've got really involved, and it's been. I'm really excited to get it out and for people to hear it.
I recently reached out to Hannah to see if she could offer some more insight into the writing process for some of these tracks. She advised that lyrical ideas for songs would often stem from conversations, and that Rachel had a clear idea about what she wanted to say, and would also say which ideas she thought just wouldn't work for her. Tracks So Good and I Will Be There were already written. Hannah had previously thought about releasing the material herself, but realised pretty quick that the life of a pop star was not for her. So when she heard Rachel wanted to cover them, she was thrilled. On the 28th of March 2005, the lead single, Negotiate with Love, was officially released. The track was co-written by the Nervo twins and was the perfect marrying of guitar and electronic beats and synths. Despite high praise from critics, the single would scrape into the top 10 at number 10, but quickly dropped down the chart in the following weeks.
Yesterday we were okay. Why leave me on that way? Haven't you heard of give and take? Now you think you're in the clear. Well, let me tell you, dear, soon you'll realize your mistake. The case is closed. I don't negotiate with love. You made your choice. I won't negotiate with love. What is it you don't understand? Respect is all that I demand. You took my heart, you held my hand, so listen up and understand. Case is closed. I don't negotiate with love. Could you turn down the track a little bit, please? I'm thinking back in time, starting to realize I could have done much better than you. I turn another page. To me, you're just a phase of time when I've learned a thing or two. The case is closed. I don't negotiate with love. You made your choice. I won't negotiate with love. What is it you don't understand? Respect is all that I demand. You took my heart, you held my hand, so listen up and understand. Case is closed. I don't negotiate with love. I could be your queen.
The single release would provide fans with the exquisite B-side, Queen.
I could be your dream. Leave the past behind tonight and dance.
I'm obsessing about this slightly, as we've already discussed. It's these gloves. Now, I was really hoping they were just going to be rubber marigolds.
Well, there you go.
But they're not, they're actually leather.
No plain. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you have fans all around the world, obviously, Rachel, but they're really starting to obsess about this, as I am. Where did the idea for these come from?
I worked with a new stylist for the new video, and we wanted kind of to do a Galliano sort of Westwood-inspired outfit. So it was kind of like a ballerina outfit, all in black. A naughty ballerina outfit.
Is it slightly S&M-y?
S&M,
I think that's
naughty, minxy ballerina. And then, because it was all in black, we wanted to inject some colour into it. And because the dance routine is very sort of hand-orientated, we thought we'd
Stick
some
the gloves
hot
on.
pink gloves,
I
exactly.
thought that they had actually, because as you finish the end of the video shoot, they walk off and they're hanging off your wrist like that. I thought they were attached on an elastic band, you know, like when you're a kid.
What do you mean?
With your mittens.
Oh, right,
And
yes,
as you're walking
yeah,
off
yeah.
the stage, because we showed the making of the video last week, I thought they were attached like I had elastic, like my gloves, you know, when you're a kid, so you don't
Yeah,
lose
they
them.
are, aren't they?
Very handy.
Yeah.
There's a website dedicated to these, though.
So I've heard. I haven't got onto it yet, but I should do. Have a look.
Trendsetter and pop star extraordinaire. Now, the single's so good. It is an absolutely cracking single.
Thank you.
Where did it come from and what's the idea behind it all?
I worked on the track with a guy called Pascal and Hannah Robinson, who I worked with on Some Girls.
Yeah.
And I heard the track and I just loved it. It's a real indication of what's on my album, and it's just a real sort of summer track and a real sort of dance.
It's quite electro-y pop, isn't it?
Electro-pop, yeah.
Very
exactly.
stylised as well, which I think is really great. And sort of really intricate choreography.
Yeah, yes, it is actually, yeah.
After a 4-month break, follow-up track, So Good, was released on the 4th of July. It was written and produced by Pascal Gabriel and Hannah Robinson. So Good was one of the first songs that Rachel recorded for the album. The song received positive reviews from music critics, who praised its production and Rachel's vocals, with some describing it as the "I Will Survive" of the 21st century, due to its lyrical content, in which Rachel declares that she has made it on her own again and will feel so good after ending a relationship.
Gonna show you I made it on my own again. I'll get back on my feet again. I know I'm gonna feel so good, so good, so good.
The track would match the chart placing of Negotiate with Love, peaking at number 10.
I'm gonna take back what is mine. I know I'm gonna feel so good, so good, so good. Well, you've been acting like you're seeing another victim that you've caught in your web. 'Cause it's you, oh, you, come and get it. I'd like to watch you suffer ever so slightly. You better watch your back, you better beware. 'Cause it's you, oh, you, come and get it. Gonna show you. Can't explain the mood that's driving me.
Never Go Back was the B-side, co-written once again by Hannah Robinson alongside Rachel herself.
Girl, you gonna do it. You're playing at a love scene. You should've seen it coming. You know it won't be like it used to be. So never go back. One, two, three, four.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, just over 10 weeks. Rachel's been waiting to speak to me, and it's time to put her out of misery, ain't you? It's only fair.
anymore.
Come on in, how are you? You alright?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, very, very good, very good. And quite impressed to be here because it's the set of.
myself.
This is Bad Girls, of course, isn't it? Where it's
is,
filmed.
yeah.
Why is Rachel Stevens
Because
in
I've
a
been
house?
very naughty and they had to lock me up and it was about time.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I don't want to know what law you broke.
No, I can't possibly share that with you.
No, come on, really, why are you here in this cell?
There's no particular reason really. I think with this track, I Say Never Again, it's a bit more of a rocky kind of, it's got a real kind of attitude to it, and we just sort of thought it would be good to spice it up a little bit.
I'm your pure sweetness. You're my only weakness. I said never again, but here we are.
So tell me about Never Again, because obviously there's got to be things that you've done in your life, maybe once before, you would never do again. What are they?
Yes, don't ever want to share them with you though. But no, I think, especially in this song, I think lyrically, I think it's something that a lot of people can relate to. But this track is about not going back with, I mean, you can interpret it how you want to really, but not going back with a guy, but you can't help it because he's, you just can't keep away.
Better off without you, but I can't live without you. Am I ever gonna break away?
This guy on the wall here,
Yeah.
is this the boyfriend in the
I
video?
defaced him.
Because there's a lot of aggression you've got here,
I know, a lot of angst in that. Yeah, there's a few boys in this video.
Right.
So, which is quite nice.
But who's the one who comes to visit you? Because what I want to know is, did you get to pick him out? Is there a Rachel Stevens casting couch?
Yes, there is actually. I got to pick all of the boys. That's one of the best parts about it, really.
Try to run, but I don't get too far. 'Cause I am.
Not only are you doing, obviously, your video, but films you've been moving to as well recently. Tell me a little bit about, from being a bad girl in the video to being a dirty girl on the big screen. What's all that
I
about?
like that.
Do you see what I did?
That's good, yeah.
Smooth.
Yeah.
Tell me about the role.
It's in Deuce Bigelow, and I play Louisa Dirty Girl. Make of that what you will. I play one of his dates. Basically, he's a male gigolo who takes out loads of different women who are all crazy weirdos. And I'm basically covered from head to toe in just dirt. I get thrown in the canal. It was very glamorous, actually. I get thrown in the canal, and then I'm supposed to come out looking all pristine.
Rachel, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Lovely to see you again. Come here.
You must. Good to see you too.
And you too.
See you soon.
Yeah, take care.
Cool.
Okay.
Take care.
Yeah. Oh, Rachel, Rachel. Yeah, Rachel, there's no handle. There's no door handle. Rachel. Right. Might be a while.
On the 3rd of October, the third and ultimately final single lifted off the record was the glam rock inspired I Said Never Again, But Here We Are. It was written by Rob Davis of the glam rock band Mud. Rob was also the co-writer alongside Kathy Dennis of the monster hit Can't Get You Out of My Head by Kylie Minogue. Rob co-wrote I Said Never Again But Here We Are alongside Jules and Stone, who also produced the track. The song only peaked at number 12 in the UK charts. However, the single received some of the best reviews of Rachel's solo career, with it being hailed by HMV for its astonishingly flawless vocal performance and as her most commercially accessible and quirky single since Some Girls. The song was also featured in the film Deuce Bigalow, European Gigolo. B-side to the track was the wonderful Waiting Game, another Hannah Robinson and Rachel co-write, along with Greg Kurstin. I Said Never Again, But Here We Are would become Rachel's final single release.
And when's the second album out?
The album's out on the 17th of October.
Do you get nervous when your album comes out, Nola?
Really nervous. Well, the single's out this week, so I'm whenever, always.
Yeah.
I will definitely be nervous.
And have you had a big input on this?
I have. I've got much more involved with the writing and the production side. Going into this album, I had a real clear idea of what I wanted to get out of it, so, yeah.
After 3 releases, plus the inclusion once again of the hit single Some Girls, the record label, Polydor, opted to release Come and Get It on the 17th of October, 2 weeks after the album's final single. The album received critical acclaim from the music press, with BBC Music stating, quite simply, it's the pop album of the year. Many reviews commented that the album was a big improvement on her debut and had the potential to become a pop classic. The album would go on to peak at number 28 in the UK, remaining on the charts for just 2 weeks. Come and Get It was not released in many territories outside the UK. In the US, it was released on the 26th of June 2007 via iTunes through Geffen Records. A special DVD edition of the album was also released, which included music videos for all of Rachel's singles from both Funky Dory and Come and Get It. Later, in 2007, The Guardian said that its lack of success was the public's loss. The newspaper would go on to place Come and Get It on their list of 1,000 albums you must hear before you die. The track Nothing Good About This Goodbye was announced as the next single in early 2006, with a single mix prepared and promo copies made, but these plans were scrapped when the record underperformed on the album charts. The track had initially been recorded by singer Alexis Strum for her unreleased 2002 album. Her take differs significantly from the version which would end up on the Come and Get It record.
Only now I've let go, honey, I just don't know. Sit right here and watch the sky above for a sign. Tell me, will you miss me when I'm in your history? Baby, there ain't nothing good about this goodbye.
There are several unreleased songs from these album sessions, most notably a song entitled Rhythm Junkie, in which a demo performed by songwriter Lisa Green, intended for Rachel, had leaked online fairly recently, and the track Nothing in Common, penned by Hannah Robinson, Rachel and Richard X. Hannah said she really wished the track had been released officially. Rachel also recorded a version of Made of Glass, which was released by Kylie Minogue as a B-side to her single Giving You Up. Rachel's version of this song remains unreleased.
Staring down doesn't count at all. Bohemian boys, like Brazilian girls, like a million noise and a million worlds, like a million beats in a Parisian heart. From the boy in the west to the girl in the east, but we're working sweat in the dim of the beast, but rebellion stops and oblivion stops.
Filled to the brim with wonderful forward-thinking lyricism and production, this album became a template for many pop albums thereafter. Still, to this day, critics and fans alike ponder just why this album wasn't as successful as it clearly deserved to be. So, what went wrong? One can only speculate, but after leaving S Club, Rachel would continue to be managed by music mogul Simon Fuller, who famously had a lot of control over Spice Girls, and then later S Club. And I do wonder if his management and control over Rachel's career shielded the public somewhat from getting to know the true Rachel Stevens. All we really saw in interviews or music videos was the image portrayed of a pretty pop star who was nice and polite. There was no bite or grit or edge. We didn't get to see her true personality, and I think perhaps that was the missing key ingredient. It's not that I don't think she had it, it's just I don't think she was allowed to show or embrace it within her music and public image. I also took the opportunity to throw this question to Hannah for her thoughts, and I quote, "Oh, I don't know, you could drive yourself mad with these things. I just remember feeling that I'd let her down. Some Girls happened 6 months after I'd signed my first publishing deal, so the pressure was on to keep delivering. It's funny because now I see how much her fans love it, and now that negativity I felt is no more. Why didn't it chart well at the time? It could be that a musical tide was turning, but that isn't going to stop her devoted fans enjoying her work. I think it could have been a greater success if they'd have saved Some Girls for the lead track from Come and Get It, rather than tagging it onto the reissue of Funky Dory, and then including it on Come and Get It. It felt a bit messy. It's as if it didn't belong anywhere." Regardless of its chart performance, it's hard to deny how influential the Come and Get It album became. The singer-songwriter Little Boots would even acknowledge Come and Get It as an influence on her hit album Hands from 2009. Hannah Robinson confirmed that she and Richard X had recorded something with Rachel a couple of years ago and would love for her to release new material, but for the time being, it remains firmly locked in the vault. She greatly appreciates that people still love this record, as she does herself, stating it to be such an amazing time in her songwriting career. Well, let's hope there's more Rachel, Hannah, Richard X songs to come one day then. Please, let's get those music vaults cracked open as soon as possible.
Funny how I always know before it's over.
In its post-release appraisal, AllMusic Guide said Come and Get It was a collection of thoroughly excellent electronic dance pop songs and the definitive album of 2000's UK chart pop. I think that about says it all. The definitive album of the 2000s. Absolutely. Thanks for watching.